appreciate all of you coming and continue to share some meaningful updates on issues that are confronting our city. We'll jump right into the very first one. We have an animal control update we want to share today and talk about what we're doing to be more proactive in light of some of the recent issues that we've had to address there also. This is an area of shared responsibility between the citizens and their city government. We know that pet owners need to know and abide by the rules in the community regarding pets, and the city is taking action to protect public safety and animal well-being. Due to the response to the survey, the city launched an improvement project last June to review and improve the process of the animal control field services. With the approval of the city manager and the interim police chief Mosley, we adopted an animal control advisory board. We received 47 applications. Out of those, council members appointed 7 of those folks to sit on their board, and they have their first meeting on July the 7th. The board will review policies related to animal control in the city and provide recommendations with enhanced public safety and animal safety and well-being. The board will also communicate performance metrics of this division with the community. One important role of the new advisory board will be to improve relationships with local veterinarians in the animal shelter. 2 local veterinarians have been appointed to serve on the board, and we look forward to their input and on the best ways to maintain community safety while providing quality and humane care to animals. We have a United States postal worker that has been appointed to that board. They have also created a Facebook page, the Wichita Animal Shelter, and currently has 650 followers to serve to educate the community on leash laws, vaccinations, licenses, and pet safety. The page has also been used to showcase pets who have been reunited with their owners. The city website now includes an online reporting feature for non-emergency animal control issues. Training for both shelter staff and field officers is being enhanced with the first Monday of each month designated for training. The division is moving forward with the plan to replace the existing reporting and dispatching software, Chameleon, with Petware. Petware is used by the Kansas Humane Society and will allow for the input of additional information on animal health and behavior assessments, which could help to increase the live release rate at the shelter. I'm told the partnership between the Wichita Animal Shelter and the Kansas Humane Society has been greatly strengthened under the leadership of Steve Kinney, who is with us today and certainly is available to take any questions. And I want to thank Mr. Kinney for his hard work. Thank you very much for what you've done. He is here this morning to answer any questions you might have with regard to this new advisory board or general Wichita Police Department's procedure related to animal control. And we will kind of hold off and take all of the questions at the very end if you don't mind. But Mr. Kinney, thank you for being here, and thank you for the good work that you've put together, because at the end of the day, that's a critical public safety issue that we want to continue to strengthen. So thank you. Quick update on transit. We had our free fares week. I know that I've seen Steve Spade, our transit director, walk in the room. Wichita Transit saw a substantial increase in riders during Free Fares Week, which was June 15th through the 20th. The Free Fares Week is a promotion designed to raise awareness about transit services. There were 60,411 rides during the week. 60,411 rides during the week. Ridership was up 3% compared to Free Fares Week from 2014. And a 64% increase in rides from a typical week in June. 64% increase. People were taking advantage of Free Fares Week. What I had mentioned before, and we'll be interested to see the bump, whenever we have that big of an increase in bump, we've been able to maintain part of that for the rest of the year. So it's doing its purpose in educating folks on riding transit. During Free Fare Week, it's estimated that more than 650 pounds of nitrogen oxide were avoided due to fewer cars on the roadways. As you know, that's one of the key ingredients in the ozone that creates a harmful pollutant in the air. Gasoline consumption was reduced by 22,000 gallons in that 1 week alone. 22,000 gallons by providing Free Fares Week and having people take advantage of that. There are more free fare opportunities ahead. Anytime we have an ozone alert day, we will have a free fares day, and you can ride the bus anywhere that it goes for free for that entire day, and as we mentioned, you can get that on our website. Please note that as city officials, we work through issues related to Wichita Transit, and public input is very key. We are currently accepting applications for vacancies on the Transit Advisory Board, and we encourage those that would like to serve in that capacity to put in an application. Great way for citizens to become more educated and involved about the process also. Now I'm going to just simply introduce Janet Miller, who is going to talk about YPW and their Community Project 2015. So Janet, I think, is the closest thing we have to a young professional in our organization. So she's just... Janet.
I think there might be somebody to take issue with that. Good morning. Thank you, Mayor Longwell. We all know, or most of us know, that retaining young professionals in Wichita is one of the most important things we can do. We've seen an exodus of young people in past years, but we are so fortunate now to have a very strong, well-organized group of young professionals in our community, and that is Young Professionals of Wichita, or YPW. And it's very hard for me to believe this, but YPW is already celebrating its 10th year in Wichita, and the organization has never been stronger. It's reporting now record membership and engagement levels among its members. And the reason I asked the mayor if I could join him this morning to share about YPW is because of the annual Enhanced Community Project that they completed last weekend. Last weekend, on one day, they had a total of 115 volunteers who put in more than 540 volunteer hours to work on 9 homes in and around Evergreen Park. Not only did they paint homes, they also completed an art mural and an interactive sculpture. They did landscaping, window fixing, deck replacement, a lot of landscaping. They had big trees removed and trimmed, and all of this work was done for free for these homeowners, most of whom were not able or not financially in a position to do the work themselves. And all of this work was completed in one day. Thousands of dollars of improvements were made to these homes with just a little under $1,000 per home actual budget. The rest of the work was done donated, or they had in-kind contributions from a number of area corporations or donated materials as well. So there were a lot of community partners, which will be mentioned here in just a moment. The other partnership that they continued this year was a shared art project with the community. They partnered with ICT Army of Artists, and that group worked to create an interactive sculpture bench seating area up by the Evergreen Pool House and a mural on the side of the pool house wall, which is a really neat addition to the area too. So I just would like to highlight this project and the great work that young professionals are doing in our community. And I think because of the partnerships and the experience of this project, my hope is that we will help young professionals value Wichita and their participation here and stay here in our community, which is our ultimate goal. And I would like to introduce to you a former young professional of Wichita. I don't think she's old now, but she started out as a member of the group and is now their paid executive, and Susie Finn, and Susie will share a few more details, but Susie is an example of exactly what we hope to have happen, is that through interaction in this group and getting to know Wichita and participation in the community, that the young professionals stay here. And Susie's a great example of that. Susie?
And I really just want to highlight all of the support that went into making this project possible. We had 11 different sponsors who donated either cash sponsorships or in-kind materials and other items to help us complete the project. We also couldn't have done it without the volunteers. We had a great team of volunteers who worked for about 6 months leading up up to the project. So that 540 hours of volunteer work on Saturday doesn't even include all the time that was spent visiting with the homeowners and developing the project plan. So that was also a huge help to getting this project completed. That day, we actually had to reschedule it, so we were really scrambling for some additional volunteers, and I really wanted to thank Textron Aviation and Emprise Bank were the two companies. Out of those 115 volunteers, they each provided 21 of those volunteers. So a good chunk of those volunteers came from those two companies, and we really, really appreciate that. It was really hot that day, too. So we were really thankful that Specs Eyewear provides us with bottled water for all of the volunteers. We had about 400 bottles of water that they went through in those 8 hours that day to make sure that they stayed hydrated and didn't have any problems being out there that long. We also cooked 200 hamburgers for our volunteers and the community as well. We invite them to come out that day and join us for our lunch celebration. So the Wagon Masters came out and helped us cooking those burgers so that we made sure that they were a fantastic lunch for everyone that was there. We also really want to thank the City of Wichita for helping us with some behind-the-scenes support. In particular, Janet Miller, of course, we were in her district. David Yeris, Janet Johnson, Gina Noel, Oscar Raimundo, and John D'Angelo from the city. They helped us identify the neighborhood that we were going to be in, provide translation services so that we can make sure that everybody got the information in a language that they could understand, work with the Design Council to get approval for that art project, get the tree trimming set up and trash hauled away, and many other things that made it possible for us to complete that project. So we're really thankful for the support of the city in this project in addition to all of our other sponsors. I think that's all I have to say. So thank you for letting us share about this project. We really appreciate it.
Good stuff. Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Susie. We appreciate it. And way to make a difference in our community. Good stuff. So we have a couple of minutes for questions.
How do folks know about ozone alert days, and how many have gone on so far this year?
Have we had any yet this year? I don't know that we have had an ozone alert day.
You can sign up for it. Is that on our website? Wichita.gov/ozone.
You can sign up to get an email alert. Why don't you come up front right quick? I know you can sign up on our website and you can get your own email alert anytime we have an ozone alert day, but you can also get that alert on our website, wichita.gov. I'm sure it has a link to it. You want to share that link one more time?
Sure, that link to sign up for the ozone alerts is at www.wichita.gov/ozone.
That's easy enough.
There are also marquee signs out on the highway
That will alert folks that it's an ozone alert day, and anytime we have an ozone alert day, it is free fares day.
Can you talk about the criteria for ozone alert days?
Go ahead. I think it's just simply over the standard.
Well, we try to predict based on the weather patterns, what's been happening in other parts of the country. A lot of times we'll have transport from other states, so we just look at a wide variety of factors to try to predict those.
How many happened last year?
Last year we had one high ozone day. We were not able to predict it. It was unexpected. We have had no predictions last year. None so far this year.
How did you calculate the savings from the free fares, gasoline consumption, miles reduced?
Just simply based on the average miles traveled by an individual that has a car that averages about 19 miles per gallon in town, and the number of people that rode the bus, and that's how we calculated those savings.
So you didn't take a poll on the riders to see if they actually normally use it?
We took the number of increased ridership times the average miles driven daily and 19 miles per hour, or 19 miles per gallon consumption, right?
What was the reaction from transportation regarding the ridership? Obviously, it was up, but what was the reaction? And talk about, again, what days was the increase since you were over here?
Sure, I'm sorry. The free fares ran all week starting on Monday. First couple days, and it's the same thing last year. First couple days were kind of slow, and then once you got into the week, it got busier. Wednesday through Friday were really, really busy days. People really appreciated it. It was interesting. We had one comment from folks saying, why don't you do one day a week so that we can go to work, and do our thing, and then we can plan for one free day a week where we're going to go out and do all of our stuff. So we may think about that as we take a look at next year about maybe changing that up and seeing if we have more benefit to people.
As you remember, one of the earlier conversations between Steve and I when we were talking about transit, that's how we came up with the free summer youth pass for all of those that are enrolled in our summer youth jobs program. They ride the transit bus for free all summer long.
Lieutenant, just talk about your reaction to the community involvement now having this board.
We're excited about the process. There's going to be a forming stage of the board, but once they get their feet settled in, hopefully we're going to pass off some fairly large projects that we would like some input on, such things as ways to promote positive pet ownership within the city of Wichita, ways to increase the release rate. We'll never get it to 100%, but anything that they can bring to the table to increase that is something that we look forward to. Ways to create raving fans with both our internal and external customers. We'll never get to where everybody's totally excited about us because, sometimes it's a bad thing that we come out on. But if we can do our job better, then we're looking forward to their support on that. And the last thing that I have on my plate is our fee structure. Our fee structure hasn't really been examined for about 10 years now as far as, what is charged and what we charge for. So we want some input on that, is our fee structure.
For the community that wants to be participating in this process but cannot be on your board, what are ways, what are ways they can participate?
First of all, they can contact any of the board members, get information to them. I have a local email address through the city of Wichita, which is skenney, K-E-N-N-E-Y, at wichita.gov. And also through our Facebook page. We're getting a lot of comments through our Facebook page as far as, we'd like you to look at this or stuff like that. So I'm collecting all those comments through our Facebook page, and I will be sharing those with the board members. Yes, sir.
You can answer it. We did the story earlier this week on the pit bulls that attacked the jogger in, they believe it was Grove Park or up in that area.
Correct.
One of the dogs was put down. One of them was captured. I guess you're still looking for one. We had the opportunity to get some video of the dog that was captured. Very sweet dog, but I understand that because possible bit somebody, she will not be placed. Right. Is there any programs out there that you guys can turn these dogs over to where they can get a
Good question. Referring to the incident that occurred at the park where we had a pack of dogs that attacked an individual, and one of the dogs bit one of our local citizens. A police officer responded and had to shoot one of the animals, and the animal died. We were able to capture one of the other dogs that was running in a pack, and I would agree with you. Right now, she appears very friendly. The problem is we don't know which dog bit the citizen. And as such, this is something we've talked in the law department about, but we have a responsibility to keep all the citizens safe. And do we really want to release a dog that may have bit somebody? That is something that we're going to have to wrestle with. I mean, right now the dog's being quarantined. We've quarantined any bite dog for 10 days. So it's a mandatory bite quarantine. And at some point in time, we're going to have to make that hard decision on what do we do next with that animal.